how have things shifted for you in terms of the music industry here? Because the way I see it, like we had that golden era, and then things kind of waned off, like in the 20.
It was quiet for a while.
13s to
We're
like
comfortable.
yeah.
You guys got comfortable.
Do you think we can ever get back to those heights? And I know Kinabiana's still there, but like I feel like he's very isolated. You know, you can point to a BN, you can point to a Nyashinsky, but you can't point to a multitude of BNs or a multitude of Nyashinsky.
I mean, I don't want to look at our industry like that.
Okay.
But of course, we are competing at a totally different level right now.
Yeah. Yo, what's up, and welcome to the 30% podcast hosted by yours truly, Afam, and my amazing co-host, Sam. And I'm sure you can see this is a special edition because this is the first time we're ever doing a video, and we're joined by... I don't even know. He's done everything. Like, he's an amazing producer.
How do you introduce a legend?
Amazing engineer, legendary. His catalog speaks for itself. And now he is a music executive within his own right.
Yep.
We're joined by the legendary Musyoka. Let's go.
Do you consider yourself a legend?
We consider you a legend.
I mean, you can't blow your own trumpet unless it's in your own song.
You
actually
should,
can.
man. Give yourself your
just-
flowers,
yeah,
man. You
you
deserve
can.
them.
Well,
A man of few
I'm
words.
just here
Okay.
to do what
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
brought to do. So
How are you? Are you good?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah?
good. I'm
It's
good.
cold,
Yeah, how are you
cold
handling
Nairobi.
this cold and this rain?
My
In fact, I
goodness.
left the house without a jumper. Then it hit me. Ooh. Yesterday I suffered.
It's so bipolar, man, because it's sunny one day, then
Yeah.
it's raining, and then it's so annoying.
It's terrible. I hate the cold.
But yeah,
Hate it.
this is our first ever video podcast, and I want to give a big shout out to Kizazi Africa Honeypod. This is where we are shooting.
Yep.
And there's no one else better to talk to than the legendary Musyoka. So essentially, how our relationship started is we kind of covered RIKE in passing in the podcast, and he reached out, and we were just in the DMs and everything, and now we're
DMs.
here. Yeah, in the DMs.
In
you
the
know what I mean?
DMs.
So yeah, that's an interesting thing. So
Yeah.
DMs, it's a very digital thing. But when you started making music,
Of course.
like this whole digital
Of
stuff
course. There was no waveform in sight.
Nothing.
Not one.
So for me and
Yeah.
Sam, we're both music producers, and you're a music producer. I mean, me and Sam can't be doing what we're doing without the likes of yourself.
Yeah, we laid the
So
groundwork.
I mean, how did you get into like music production? And and when? You know what I mean?
Well, if I tell you the period and the years,
Yeah.
I might embarrass you.
Let's see. I like how Afam said it's fine. Let's see.
Yeah, so my background is, I'm from a musical family. My dad was a guitarist. And I started playing drums at maybe around the age of 10 and 11. We used to live next to the Machakos showground, so I would listen to the bands playing.
Yeah.
Then I would just be peeping at the window.
Oh, really?
Then the interest had always been there because, of course, from my dad's side.
Yeah.
Then, I learned how to play drums first. That was my first instrument that I picked.
Yeah.
Then we moved to Nairobi.
Yeah.
Around 94.
94. Okay.
Okay.
That's 1 year before I was born.
Wait, you weren't born in 94? Oh, that's so sad. I was, but I was.
Then I
barely
was
human.
plunged into a group of schools called Riara.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You went to a group
the
of
Oaks.
schools.
Me, I went to Makini.
Just across the fence.
Yeah.
So when I was in Riara, you were somewhere walking, crawling.
Most likely.
Not a music thought inside. Not a music thought inside.
Luckily in Riara, there was Sub-Sahara.
Okay.
Suzanne had
Yes.
the studio there.
Yeah.
So,
That was there back then.
yeah.
Wow.
It was there.
How old is that studio?
I'm very, very old. Oh, I found it there. Because they used to record a group called Musically Speaking.
Okay,
Homeboy
yeah.
And several friends of
Yeah,
theirs.
okay.
So that was your entry into music?
Professionally, like
Oh, okay.
professional introduction. But before that, I'd been doing Kamba songs.
Okay.
Do you still
Yeah.
have them?
There?
Do you still have them?
No, but I still,
You don't?
up to date, my radio still, I still listen to,
Okay.
me, I don't listen to bougie stations.
Oh, no,
Oh,
not
okay.
at all. Yeah.
Not in a bad way, but just so that I don't forget my language, because my kids don't speak it.
Yeah. Do you listen to radio regularly?
Daily.
Interesting.
Do you think it's still
Daily,
relevant?
daily. To me,
Okay. Okay.
We'll get into
Okay.
that.
No,
We'll
yeah.
get into
Just
the
testing the
differences.
waters. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Bougie stations, no.
Yeah.
Vernacular,
Yes.
You're there.
I
All right.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of information on those stations that makes sense to me.
So I'm interested to know like what prompted you into getting into like music, because for someone like me it was YouTube. You see the kids making music and you're like, I want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And for you guys it must have been way
KBC.
different, because media was way
It was
different.
Fredo Bach, Machoka, and Musyoka wa Kaleli.
Those are the
I
guys
mean, those are the guys, and Jimmy Gatho.
Jimmy Gatho.
Definitely
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember the first time I saw Jimmy Gatho, I was eating break. I was in class 7.
Class 7.
So I was eating break, and then he was walking away from Sub-Sahara. I froze. I'm like, yo, I only see this guy on
TV.
TV.
That's really interesting. Do you, so not to divert too much, but do you find people do that, like especially people in the music world, like they treat you that way sometimes?
Maybe,
like,
I don't know, but
this
nobody
is
will
the-
tell you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've been stopped. I mean, I'm
You're a
in
celeb.
some weird places. I'm like, hey, how did you even see me? I've tried to hide myself so much. Like
Why?
you just be in town, somebody just passes, you hear your name.
From the other side of the street, Musyoka is like, but I don't know you.
But you get used to it. I mean, it's a humbling experience.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that just goes to show you the power of what we do. Yeah. So
Yeah, it is.
So I don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
Then yeah. So after that experience, of course, with the studio being there, we started doing, because some of our music classes would happen in the studio. So Victor Say was my music teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, not officially from the government curriculum, but in the studio, Suzanne would allow students to just go and fiddle around.
With the
So Victor Say taught me how to play keyboards,
oh, nice.
and yeah. So from there, now the interest just grew exponentially.
Yeah.
From just curiosity of listening to, I now want to know how this thing is actually made.
Yes.
How it works.
Yeah, so of course, by the time now that passion is being ignited, off to high school. Shipped to high school. But luckily, I mean, I don't know if I've read a book I read a lot. There's a book called The Alchemist by Paul Coelho.
I love that book.
Afam recommended me. I still haven't.
It's an amazing book.
please.
Still haven't read it.
It's one of those life-changing
Yeah.
reads.
I've read at it.
Yeah.
The world conspired to help me.
The universe.
The universe. So in there comes my rap group.
So that's the
Nanoma now.
Nanoma, yes.
Yes. Our 5th member was actually K-Rapt. So K-Rapt is now actually, so that I've literally just left Samawati the October 96.
Yeah.
Yeah.
April 97, K-Rapt takes us, actually February 97, Kalamashaka, Tejosai and the likes come to Afanki
Yeah.
Yeah.
in our high school. Then K-Rapt introduces us to them, we rap for them, blah, blah, blah. Then over the holidays, we find ourselves at Sing Sounds. There's a studio, Ted is here, Ambrose is here, Keshaka is here. Like literally within that holiday period of 3 weeks, I had a record deal.
And at this point, you're producing or are you rapping?
I'm rapping,
You're rapping.
but I'm playing keys.
Okay.
But I'm directing the songs. So like all the melodies that
Yes,
we are
yeah.
rapping,
Yeah.
like literally, this thing happened from, I entered Lenana 3rd February, 97. April 17th, I had a record label with a rap group. Like,
Things were just like
so
flowing.
Like for me, that was like an explosion.
Yeah.
But of course, that started a very big war with my mom that lasted 4 years.
Why? Because of the content?
No, just
Music
who is a
isn't.
musician
Yeah,
now?
music isn't a real job. It's not. It's a
I'm
hobby.
going to take you.
It's a hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a positive war. Now it was a positive war. Of course, then you're a teenager. You're being she perceives you as being a rebellious guy.
By doing music.
but were you?
I understand.
There?
Were you?
No, I for sure.
Okay.
My mom can attest. I was never a problematic child.
Yeah.
I was never but I fought my way to have the freedom to do what, because at the height of it all now, we've been recording now from 97 to 2000. I'm starting in KCSE, and then of course she's worried.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't the brightest student in class, but I wasn't the dumbest.
It's good. That helps.
I was
That
there.
helps, yeah.
I was a student.
Yes, that helps.
Of course, she had big dreams for me.
I
Shout
mean,
out to parents, man.
you've still lived up
But
to...
this was never.
This was not the dream she was dreaming. She was dreaming other dreams.
Ever. In
Yeah.
her wildest life, she would never imagined
Yes.
my life would turn out. In fact, the other day she was watching CTA.
Yeah.
So she sends me those clips. She's like, wow. This year, not
Yeah.
a long time ago.
That was 2 years ago.
She was watching this CTA like 3-4 months ago. So she sent me clips. Wow.
For the first time,
I
that's
didn't
when
know
she-
this. Wow. Then we are chatting.
It's like, oh, this is what you were doing.
I'm like, yeah, when we were
Yeah.
fighting,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
this is the foundation we were laying. So after now K-Raps takes us there, we get signed. We get a record deal, then
What does a record deal at that time, what does that mean even? Like, what exactly was that?
what words of the dictionary can't we use?
No, you can say anything you want. You can say anything
Where
you
is the
want.
fence?
There's no
You know, that's
fence.
bullshit.
Yeah, there's no
That's
fences
a-
here.
That's a bullshit contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it like time-based, or were they like you have to record?
Album-based. 2
Okay.
albums.
Okay.
You need to have 2 albums.
Uh-huh.
It had not advanced. They owned everything. Like I have it. I have a
Up to-
copy.
up to-
I
up to
have
now,
it.
you still
I
have
I would
those.
love to see a picture of that.
I'll
If
WhatsApp
you-
you. I'll send it to you.
We need to see what
so
that
they
looks
owned
like.
it. So
man.
what was in it for you then at that time?
Did
Or
you-
just the...
Did you want to become a rapper? Like, was that your goal? Like,
was
you
a
wanted to
rapper.
be Okay, let me ask my question in a
Yes.
different way. Was that like your end goal was rapping,
Being an entertainer.
an entertainer? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The production came out of frustration.
Interesting. With the rapping.
A lot
and
of people
everything.
seem to do that though.
Not
Like a
because
lot
I
of
was a frustrated rapper.
Yeah.
I was frustrated with the process of
Well-
of the guys we had entrusted the process of producing for
yeah.
us.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I see.
I just got so frustrated. Like I'm trying to give you idea. Like I have the song in my head.
Yeah.
The bass line, the drums, everything exists in my head.
He's just
The song
not
is
doing it.
complete.
But they're unable to like...
But the way they're translating it, I'm like, dude, no.
Yeah.
Do this. I'm like,
Back then,
why
were-
am I telling these guys?
Were you using DAWs?
No.
What were you using?
My first, let me start saying from Samawati to around 2001, I had never seen a waveform, but I was making music.
But you'd never seen a wave.
Never seen a waveform, never seen a transient.
That will sound wild to someone born in wild.
It sounds wild to me.
How do you
Yeah.
produce without waveforms?
Yeah.
We used to sequence.
You need to know where the
There was
transit is.
MIDI.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why, and I think for me, my biggest advantage is learning to make music by listening.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't need to read.
Yeah.
Like for me, I do give master classes, and the students are always like, "But how can you hear that?" I'm like, the meter is the last thing I look at.
Yeah.
For me, I'll feel the music.
Yeah.
I'll feel the energy. I'll feel what I'm doing.
Yeah. And your ears are trained. They're used
Exactly.
to. They're used to what music
That's
is.
how I made music for so long. Like all these Sukoflani songs, the
Yeah.
Dandoral, I don't have wave files. I never saw the wave files.
You know, one toxic thing like producers today do, and I've found myself doing this. You know, even when I'm EQing
Yeah.
things, I'll be looking at the waveform to guide me on what to
Exactly.
EQ
Yeah.
instead of actually
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah, listen.
I don't know why we trust those things so
I
much,
know
though.
to
It's like,
actually be an
why-
accurate representation.
Yeah, why do you think
of
that's
what we're
accurate?
hearing. Yeah.
The chicken became before the egg.
Ex-
Or is it the egg?
well, no, it's
Technically,
it's a
yes.
philosophical-
The chicken, because the egg needs to be
Yeah,
hashed
to
at
be
some
hashed
point.
at
So
some point.
something needs to sit on it. So
and unless it was created.
answered
Sam.
it. That's an age-old-
Are you saying creation isn't a thing, Sam?
we're not doing this. Yeah.
Moving
I'm
along
not doing-
swiftly.
yes, we're not doing
You were
this.
saying-
Yeah, so there was no technology to aid
Yeah.
us. But I mean, so because of that frustration, and you couldn't even dream of having a bedroom studio.
Yeah.
You couldn't go to sound creation and walk with
And
a
walk out
sound
with a mic.
card
Yeah.
or-
No way.
You are tied to this studio.
Yeah.
This one space.
If I need to make music, I have to make sure I call Mohamud and Emmy. We plan.
Yeah.
Of course, I have no money, so I'm walking.
And that the mentality, I think we're having that discussion before. The mentality
Yes.
about that, I think it creates for more serious art because you know that if you go there and you waste your time and your money,
there's nothing like wasting time.
Yeah. Mhm.
You go there. First of all, I'm stealing tuition time.
as one would, yes.
Then I have to go back to
You have
school in
goals.
3 weeks. So I need to maximize on that time that I have.
Yeah.
We used to record a song every time we went to the studio.
Yeah.
Every start to finish.
Because you know,
And we only have 8 tracks. We don't have.
oh, you guys were limited to
Exactly.
8 tracks.
So you're not at the. Sometimes I get sessions. There's a hi hat on an entire
Yeah.
track.
Oh,
Exactly. There's 3 hi-hats.
I'll put an open hat on a one track. You know, like what?
Guys, you're busy.
There's 3 high, but we have the opportunity to. That's the thing. Like there's the means to, and like the door allows for it, and that's how people learn production. So
Yeah.
they don't learn. You learned with the 8 track, so you know everything.
I need to know my vocals are gonna be here.
Yeah, and there's
The
planning
music
that's
is gonna
involved.
be here.
Yes.
So at that time, did you have to like record stuff, bounce it, put it on one track? then-
Precisely. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
How do you mix that?
Sounds so
You mix as you
difficult.
record. So you record, we do our verses,
Okay.
we have 6 tracks.
Okay.
We finish the vocal track.
Yeah.
We mix it, it's bounced to left 1, 2. So it frees up.
This is foreign. This
frees up the other
is foreign language to a lot of people watching.
To
Foreign.
me included. Wow. But that's you guys are real pioneers, man.
Yeah.
'cause-
So, but at that time, it was a combination of reel to reel and
Yeah.
ADAT.
Okay.
So actually, the first song we did was a reel to reel. So there was splicing. You have to scrub. You lock the. Then you have to stripe SIMT on channel
man.
7. No, that thing that runs in Serato.
It was.
process.
There was more of a technical aspect to
Yeah,
producing.
but it was fun. Like
Yeah.
we couldn't. That was cutting edge. Like us, this is the best thing we have. So
Yeah.
for us, we are at the edge of technology
Yeah.
completely. So we can't fathom that there's another way to make
To
this
actually
easy.
do something.
If you can have 30 tracks, how do you even think when I have 30
And those are
tracks?
just the drums. Those are just the drums.
Okay, so you said you were getting frustrated and you were going into the production side of things.
Yeah.
What would you say was your first like real production that you did and a song came out of that?
I had 2 phases of production. I had professional production and then bedroom production.
Okay.
So the professional production, because the studio was there were assistants, there were other people to help you.
Yeah.
So like the first song that I ever went on air commercially was called Kilasa.
Kilasa.
Nanoma. So that was the first track I ever produced like professionally. But now I enjoyed that for 3 years. Then Citizen, the studio where Citizen right now is, the studio moved there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the guy who bought the rights, Tamasha, they closed it. Actually, one of the last songs ever recorded in that studio was Chameleons. It was one of the last songs
That they recorded there.
they recorded
Yeah.
in that space
Yeah.
before now Citizen acquired it.
Yeah.
So I had to go back now to the bedroom side. But
Okay.
luckily that time, now plugins and DAWs now,
Yeah. Logic.
guys
and
were coming from
Pro
abroad
Tools and
with softwares.
Yeah.
FL Studio.
Yes. So Ogopa DJs, Lucas, I went and withdrew all the cash I had in the bank. It was about 14 G's. My savings from...
That's hefty. That's a
hefty.
lot even now.
No, it's
Yeah,
a lot
in-
of money,
in
man.
this 201.
That's a lot
this
of
economy,
money. in
that's a lot.
2012.
So he
Awesome.
went and banned for me a CD with Wavelab, Soundforge,
Fire.
Amplitude, and Fruity Loops.
Oh dang, are you an FL kid?
Fruity Loops 1.
You know, now it's on 21.
Yeah, it had round things. Just go and check FL1. It was called FL.
I think round things, what do you mean?
The sequence thing was around, you'd click on round thing.
I don't even know what it is.
Okay, we'll believe you.
No, yeah.
Just
Okay.
check it. We'll open it on
Yeah.
But I know Wavelab. I've used Wavelab. I haven't used. You said the other two.
Samplitude.
Samplitude.
It's called Samplitude.
Some have used Samplitude.
I've heard of it. I haven't used it.
I've
Square.
heard of
We've heard of
Samplitude.
Square. It later became Square. I don't know if it's
I
in the
haven't
market.
used. I haven't used.
But I've heard of Samplitude. That's all.
Okay.
Because now, actually, towards the end of my professional studio time,
Yeah.
they acquired Noteta. which is now Logic.
Oh, okay.
So at least, but that wasn't wave file.
Yeah.
That was MIDI. We would sequence now MIDI onto notator.
Okay.
Oh, that's crazy.
So once we sequence, you bounce the track channel 6, 7.
Yeah.
Because 8 was SIMT. We were striping SIMT on 7 and channel 8.
Yeah.
So 6, 7, you'd put your left, right now from notator on the mixing board. Because if you don't transfer the track, you might boot up the computer tomorrow and it doesn't allocate.
Oh yeah, that's
That's our version of a failed hard drive.
yeah. Or when
Yes.
when FM
So when you make
FL
a song,
crashes.
you arrange that song, you arrange it.
And make sure you're
it's
done with it.
You're done. Save and move on.
Oh man. I need to get back to that mentality because the amount of music that I've lost just off. Oh no, I'll get back to this. Yeah, I'll get back.
Because nowadays, man, you lay down the hi-hats and the drums and then you're like, you know what, I'll come back to this
Yeah,
later.
let me see how it feels. Let me see how it feels
Yeah, let me-
tomorrow
yeah,
morning.
exactly.
No such thing.
There's no time for that.
No such thing.
You move on.
Yeah.
You commit.
Yeah.
Commit
finish
and
a track and then-
you move on.
Yeah.
So now that studio, so after I got those softwares, now I went to the bedroom. So I hijacked the family machine and installed them.
Yeah.
Pentium 2.
Pentium. It even sounds old. Pentium.
Pentium 2.
That won't run, not an EQ today.
Nothing.
Not an EQ will be run on that.
Microsoft 95.
Oh man.
MS 95 was something.
With all the
Windows 95.
cool startup sounds and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss those.
Of course, there's no internet, so you install your softwares, and this is Fruity Loops 1, so it has no sound. Zero sound.
Oh, it had no.
Nothing.
what's the point of a
Not even a
DAW?
sine wave.
Okay.
So where did you get?
Samples. Now I started sampling.
Thank you. Can we just thank you. You mentioned that.
Did you
Let's-
deconstruct like drums like you'd had and like
Decon-
now you
what is
you get like a kick?
you took the joints and put them on there.
One day come to the studio, up to today, the sound kit I made those years,
Yeah.
I still use
You
it.
still use wow.
So now I just, of course, because now technology,
yeah.
I've tweaked it a bit better. I've created different variations of the same sound.
Yeah.
But my original sound kit, I created that time. I still have it.
That's craziness. I have a question.
Yeah.
And there's a argument between producers. So this says you're a sample-based producer.
Yeah, me, I'm a
you
sample based.
do you think sample-based producers are real producers? It's a cliche question. It's kind of silly asking, but
Yeah,
it's an
of course.
actual
I mean,
question.
it's-
People go to war over this.
It's an art
online.
form. For
Yeah.
me, I'm a hybrid. Of course, I
Okay.
started as a sampling
Yeah.
producer because there was nothing. I didn't have a.
Yeah.
Where was I getting the sound
Exactly.
from?
Yeah.
So you had to sample.
I had to sample, which for me has given me Dre, Timbaland, Swiss.
Kanye, they're all But
They're all
somehow people
sample-based.
still believe that you're not a producer
No, but you see,
enough
it's
if
changed.
you don't sample.
But Sam, it's changed because the argument is a lot of producers now use loops. Do you use loops? Well, you see, people will make loops for you and
Exactly.
stuff. Sampling
So we've
is
changed- we've
different.
changed what sampling means.
Yeah, but-
Actually,
yeah.
exactly.
This entire Afrobeat, all this splice thing, it's just
it's all-
a newer version of what we were doing.
Yeah.
But it's much
So
easier.
I was my own splice. So I would go and splice my samples and just map them because hardware was so expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that required way more skill because you actually had to
Exactly.
go and curate the music that you like.
Yeah.
Now you just open a bank and then you just go
It's
through.
all there.
Drag and drop.
So it's way different.
Yeah.
So the snare, like you're somewhere, you hear a snare, you mark that song.
That's so crazy.
I used to record off radio, Shabarang song, where the do, you go
yeah.
and cut that.
Wow.
It's really weird because I do that with even with Spotify today. Like when I hear a
Yeah,
song
even-
that I like
even
the
today I
snare,
still do it.
and
Even
God bless
today
you
I
if it's
still do it.
isolated. Like just have me a drum loop in the beginning. They're all on. I have a playlist of songs I'm going to produce with. They're all there.
Yep. After
Don't
that, I
play.
still do that. I hear something, I'll go cut it.
How did you guys
Yeah.
handle sampling woes back then? Like
But it wasn't you see, we weren't sampling like songs
Yeah.
to like phrases. I think you're talking about the clearance part.
Yes.
Yes,
We didn't
clearance.
need to clear anything because it was just like hits. Like
Yeah.
you just sample it, a violin, zing, zing.
That's
and
what
back then we didn't have
So now you
content ID.
map that onto a keyboard,
Yeah.
onto a piano roll.
And-
so now that becomes your.
Your sounds.
Yeah. That's
Because these days,
But of course, there's some songs I would
people
put
for hi-hats.
full samples, like Angalia Sa. I literally looped a Cannibas intro So those ones now I use real. I mean, you live with the consequences. That time there was no connectivity.
Was you guy? Was that a sample? The bass line?
The entire song is a sample.
Okay.
The entire song was a sample.
Makes sense.
The bass line, no.
The bass line was a sample.
No.
That's
No,
what I
the
thought was a
bass line
sample.
is not ding 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 ding.
Yeah.
Ding. That's not the bass line. The bass line for you guys is very different.
Okay.
Do.
Okay, makes sense.
It's
Yes.
When you listen to a
yes.
sub,
Yeah.
you'll hear totally different.
A totally different
The
bass.
ding 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 ding. Actually, that thing is in the. It's in the mid register. It's not. It doesn't. It's not a bass line.
Okay.
It was actually the mid section of the song.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a bass. There's a synth bass line that plays under that. But of course, because that being a very memorable phrase or riff, people think it's the bass line, but it's actually not the bass line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, back to now when you started really producing, was this around the time you guys did Dandora and with
Yes.
all
No.
the-
So those samples,
Yeah.
they were the foundations of Dandora Love,
Yeah.
DCMTRS. That entire Koflani catalog
was based
was
off
now
of?
based off of those.
So this is now pre. So all these songs were coming out pre 2006, I believe.
This is one.
Yeah. So this is before you left and came back.
Yeah. Pre Homeboyz actually.
Pre Homeboys.
Wow, pre-Homeboys.
What would you say is the main difference in your sound in those two different like eras? Because from outside looking in, the era I remember you from the most is like now after like now 2008 over
Yeah.
there. That's where like your sound
No,
was
that's
really
a mature guy. That's
Mature.
no, for me that was like the peak. Like now I had consolidated the experience,
Yeah.
the education, and everything coming together.
yeah.
So that was the peak
Yeah.
of all that, of that entire journey. Because now going to Homeboyz, now I had access to sound modules, and I was now back to a better professional setting compared to where I'd started.
Yeah.
And of course now technology is a big thing.
Yes.
The studio I had a good team behind me. We had good artists. So now I relied less on samples now. Now I'm like literally now
Playing stuff.
Playing things
Yeah.
out, yes.
playing whatever I hear, I can play
Using
it out.
your musical
Yes.
knowledge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My music became more musical actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was actually a period going back, there's a period where, and for me, I would say it's when, because you talked about going to, on CTA, you talked about going to the US and then coming back.
Yeah.
I think after you came back, everything sounded a lot more musical.
Yeah. Now
Yes.
so now everything now has matured.
Yes.
So the experience of doing Kinder Dandora Love with samples only, no piano, nothing.
Yeah.
That's the change.
I wish we could do that
There was
today.
no piano.
I really wish we could do that today. Oh man. You
Just
took-
look the TID watasema. But you see, I had music in my mind, but
Yeah.
I didn't have the tools.
Yeah, I didn't have the tools.
So at Homeboyz, I found the tools.
Yeah.
So I started now making more musical. Kiroro, ding, 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 ding. The piano started coming in.
I mean, you're just casually mentioning songs that were my childhood.
How does it feel
Yeah, how does
to
that
be part
feel?
of, and not just that, but to be part of Kenya's musical story in that way?
Some would say that was a golden era
Yeah,
of
there,
music.
there are a
for
few
Kenya.
producers who I ascribe to that, and you're one of them, where you're part of the era where music sort of became a thing
Yeah.
for the
I mean,
whole of
I
Kenya.
would say it's right time,
Yeah.
honestly. It was because the guys who had laid the groundwork didn't have the kind of support we had at that point. Because now, at that point now, the emptiness within the art scene
Yes.
is so huge. And also, don't forget, politically, guys are now tired of MO1. So we are becoming rebels.
I like that.
Music.
MO1.
Yes, yeah, it took me a while. I was like, is that a rap group? Oh no, okay. Like NWA. No, okay, got you. Yeah, we know.
So there's a kind of a rebellion
Yes.
attitude, and we just want change.
Wow, okay.
So it was just a culmination of a lot of things. That was the rebirth of the nation. We've been in this 24 years with this guy.
Yeah.
He has killed the art scenes completely. There's nothing that's thriving. But you can't kill art. You know, it's
Of course not. No.
part of human nature.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
There needs to
For
be
me, I believe God is an artist first. He's
Yes.
not even a scientist.
Yeah.
God,
Creation
I mean,
is
when
art.
sometimes you go places, you look at the mountains, the way the snow is arranged, the flowers, the color coordination of you're like,
Wait,
Someone drew
so
this.
you're one of those producers who believe that like the environment in which you make music,
of course,
it influences the sound.
of course, of course.
Oh, that's interesting.
God is an artist first. Then if there is accounting, he'll create the digits.
Is the political scene important to the Kenyan music?
Of course, yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, some of our biggest songs they were really closely linked
And how
to
does
politics.
how does that work now, like in the current day?
Right now, not really,
Yeah.
but at our time, politics and
Back
art
then it was.
It was intertwined.
one and the same. Like we needed that political drive
Yeah.
and political will to even just initiate
Yeah.
organizations that will fight for our rights.
Yeah.
Right now, you guys are in a global village.
Yes.
So
And it's
our politics.
we're at peace.
Whether there is whatever here, I'll work in
Exactly.
my bedroom, I'll upload
Yeah,
in the cloud,
yeah.
it will be listened to people.
Yeah.
Like, just look at what has happened to Sophia Nzao. Like,
It's crazy.
Oh, you're tapped in.
even if she lived in a cave with internet, that's all you need. So,
Exactly.
but that time, we needed that stability to help us just make things work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are a few of the things that you said, like the things that just culminated together to
Exactly.
Because I really wonder, like, why that time was so. Okay, so I'll give you an example. So Sam and I went for an event. I don't know if you listen to Ethan Muziki and Kinoti.
Yeah.
So we went for the event, and before they come out, the DJs will be playing music and
yeah.
everything. And the demographic, I would say, would be between the ages 19
Young-
to 23.
young people.
Very
Very young.
young people.
Yeah.
But the music that they were really resonating to was from your era,
Yeah.
the golden age. Like the DJs were playing music that's more recent, but the response
crowd was
was
exactly.
not as good.
And that was
but
very
they
confusing.
play K-rap, they play Issa, and all the kids, and these are people who weren't born in the time. They weren't there. So what is it about that energy? Like there's something different about the music
Pioneering.
that
What did you guys put in the music?
Yeah, what did you guys?
It's just pioneering.
Yeah.
It's just it represents a period in time where prosperity came into this nation, I believe.
Did you know that the stuff that you guys were doing in the studios, did you know that it was that special?
You're never thinking about it. You're just in there creating.
You guys were just making
We're
music.
just rolling with the punches.
Oh man,
We're
that's
just
crazy.
We had no game plan. Nothing. Even with me, I talked to Clemo, I talked to Lucas, I talked to Ted. We didn't have... Us, we were loving what we were doing.
Yeah.
We just loved what we were doing and we were fully immersed into it.
Yeah.
I think, how do I put it? Let me not say passion, because you're also passionate about what you do. But
About our 3 hi-hat tracks.
but I think for us, we came from an adversity
Okay.
situation. Like
Okay.
it was, like right now when you listen to Kanye's music,
Yeah.
it's not the Kanye who
It's
was
not-
hungry.
it's
Us
not-
guys
not at
when
all.
you are hungry, there's just an
We want
energy.
the old Kanye.
Yeah.
There's an energy your music has
Yeah.
that, and us guys were hungry.
Hungry.
Like, we were so hungry. And I don't see that hunger a lot anymore.
Okay.
Perhaps because one, things are good economically.
Yes.
You have options.
It's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have options. Like I can open Reaper today, Pro Tools tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you think the accessibility to so much, like in terms of like technology and even media, do you think that's like a limiting factor? Because even before this podcast, we were discussing back in the day when an artist released like Nameless, we're all listening to that song. You know, nowadays everyone is listening to their own different niches and whatever. But back then we were all like, there was a feeling of community, even with how we were listening to music and the media we were consuming.
It's a principle of abundance. There's just an abundance of things. So you have choices. But when you have no choices, I mean, all your energy
It's focused on
is focused
what you see in front of you,
what
your
is in
goals.
front
Yeah.
of you, yeah. So, I mean, like, I always look, if I had the option to have 5 DAWs to work with, I don't think I would have made music. I would have been tinkering with this. No, this is better than this one. I'd been a very different, but I had only one avenue to make this song. And that is the only avenue available.
Yeah.
There is no other studio you're going
do or
to
die.
go. this is it. You
Get
don't
it done.
mix with this that machine.
You
your
don't make music.
It's not.
So where do you take your frustrations when you just have that one outlet? Like, let's say you're frustrated about the creation process. How do you handle
Honestly,
that without choice? Because now, if I'm frustrated with FL, all right, let me see what Logic is talking about. Let me try it. If not that, then I will try. And I don't know who makes beats and stuff in Pro Tools. That's a crazy person. But oh, you do?
Me, I sequence in Pro Tools.
Okay.
Oh,
So
wow.
you're a different animal. I'm not even going to count you. You're a different animal. But yeah, how do you handle your frustrations with the creative process when you just have one outlet?
Okay, right now I'm not in that mind space anymore.
Yeah.
Because of course, at some point I realized this has to be a business. Yeah. So when that realization checked in, I had to call myself a meeting and decide, am I going to do this for the sake of doing it, or is it going to be a livelihood?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a crossroads that all of us are hitting right now, even as producers.
Yeah. And
So-
I've heard that from a lot of older producers, is that at one point they're like, okay, I can sit in my room and put kicks to snares for the rest of my life, but at some point something has to,
because
it needs to work.
Like, I'll give you an example. When I was working at Homeboyz, they gave me a car. But one day I'm driving this car and fuel runs out.
and so you
How much was fuel back then?
It was like 58 bob.
Look at that. It's craziness.
Oh,
Imagine.
man, look.
So the car has no fuel. It's the middle of the road. I'm here with this car branded Homeboyz. I'm broke as broke can be.
Yeah.
I called, of course, mommy, come to the rescue.
Yeah.
But after that, I'm like, all these songs are being played on air. I could go and eat in Choices.
And you're hearing I made that. Yeah. That's
You go eat in Choices, you eat for free, the
Yeah.
waiters are giving you, but I can't even buy soap,
Man, that's so that's so insane to even hear, because you literally made hits for this country. You know
But you
what I mean?
see, when you are so immersed in the process, money is the last thing.
you're thinking.
You are thinking money will automatically come. You're neglecting the business
Especially when
side
you
of
get
things.
in, when a lot of producers get in and they're just excited about it, you're very green. And so
Yeah.
you're just like, oh man, it's enough for me to hear my songs being played, until you hear that song has made someone 1 million. And then
But you
like,
see,
oh wait.
also this story is not
Wait a minute.
It's not unique to myself.
not
Like
unique,
you watched the Dress documentary, the Defiant one.
Yes, Defiant ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you have to hit rock bottom
Okay.
to realize, hey,
Good. I have a question for you. And I've asked a couple of people.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this whole thing in the industry where younger people coming in are always, let me use taken advantage of, because it's easier to understand, taken advantage of, and it almost seems like that's the process. Is that a real thing? Because I believe it's not. I don't think that
I will
we have
refute.
to. Yeah.
Nobody takes advantage of you.
You allow
Okay.
yourself
You're
to
just
take.
ignorant. Yeah.
That's a different.
You're
perspective.
ignorant and indolent.
Okay.
I would agree
As
with
my,
the
as my
ignorance
lawyer
part.
calls it.
What? Okay.
The equity favors the vigilant, not the indolent.
So what about like you have the knowledge and you know this is how it's supposed to go, contracts, everything, and but you know they don't know, but then
It's not that
you're
they
still,
don't know.
Yeah.
Every situation is different.
Okay.
I've never seen scenarios that mirror each other. The experiences might mirror each other, but the situations, the negotiations, the what's on the table,
Yeah.
they're always, even to this age, as of 2 weeks ago, I was played with all the knowledge.
Don't say that, please. No. We're not doing that.
Where's the
Really?
hope for the rest of
Because
us?
you get into a deal, then you realize, shit, I've just been shafted because I overlooked something.
Yeah.
It will happen.
Oh, that's
It
crazy.
will
So
happen.
it's the way of the creative.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
just
no. It's not encouraging.
you
to
just have to be vigilant. You just have to
hear.
don't get too carried, and especially these things happen when you're desperate. Because I was desperate for that deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it was a good deal.
Yeah.
But I overlooked some terms
Yeah.
that I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I can't go back to the client and start
Yeah.
renegotiating this
Yeah.
because I've
Yeah.
already screwed myself.
Yeah. Do you think as you age in production, right? Do you think there is do you think you have a responsibility to now the things that you've learned to pass them on to? I don't think there's a lot of that going on.
I always do. Like I have a masterclass running right now.
Okay.
For the last, it's a 3-week program.
Why is it so quiet? This is the first time I'm hearing you have a masterclass.
Yeah, I mean,
Because I'm not BN, I don't make noise a lot. But I usually post it. I had 48 applicants. We've only taken 10.
Okay.
So we have the database now.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
those guys now who applied, next year when we usually try and do it twice a year.
Yes.
So I've partnered with some German organizations.
Okay.
So we try and run it twice a year.
Okay.
Every year we
And
have
what's
two cohorts.
What's the goal of
Just
the thing as a
produce,
whole?
educate people, just
educate
on
them
knowledge, yeah.
on what exactly.
So like right now, this week they're with Hendrix. This week yesterday, today, and tomorrow they're with Hendrix. So he's a new producer, so he's talking to them
Hendrix
about
Sam.
Hendrik Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about Hendrik Sam a lot on this podcast.
Yeah.
We like his
He's
music.
very I can play keys.
Yeah,
He
so
is
he's my
fast.
keyboard. I mean, I met him
He's
off
crazy.
after high school.
Yeah.
I jumped
Oh,
him
wow.
5 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's been working under me for the last. Now it's the 6th year.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so happy for him.
Shout out to him,
especially
obviously.
this Sauti Sol generation.
Picked him up, yeah.
Yeah, when they
Yeah.
picked him up, I was like, get your wings. He's in my band. I have a band. So we are 4 of us. Me, Hendrix, Georgie, and Musembi, John.
Oh.
John plays for Beat Hogs.
Nice.
Yeah.
You have a band. I'm still there. I'm still there. Is that like just a creative? Because I would think that now you're into a lot of more the businessy aspect of music. So is that like your creative outlet? That's where you go to have fun. And,
Oh, yes. And that's my Branadra.
When was the last time you made a piece of music?
Today morning.
Oh, sorry.
So do you still enjoy making like?
Of course. I have an album coming out in February.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
My
Okay.
3rd album.
That's very good to hear.
It's just that nowadays, for me, it's the way I approach it,
Yeah.
it's just, because at some point I felt like I lost the art.
You felt as though you lost it.
Sometimes
Okay.
you go so commercial,
Sold out.
you start looking at music, you're like, I don't like these songs. Like, they start lacking meaning.
Yeah.
So now at least with Decimators, I feel like I'm reclaiming
You're getting
that.
back to
Decimators.
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, that's the band name.
My group.
Yeah,
Branadra.
the Decimators.
Yes.
He's wearing the merchandise, man.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
okay,
this
facts.
is my
that's
band.
cool.
He's
This is my
repping
group.
for
The
Decimators.
Decimators.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell people where they can purchase this?
No,
Plug yourself. Plug yourself.
this is a demo merchant.
Okay.
Merchandise. So, but we have.
Oh, man.
It's still a project in progress.
Okay.
It's like my child. So I'm
It sounds very close to Decimal Records. I don't
Yeah.
I guess.
burst out of that.
But
okay.
before we go too far, you just mentioned something about you feeling like you lost the, what would you say was like, so you've been part of so many songs that I hit, Furahi Day, everything. What would you say is the anatomy of like a hit? Like, is there like a specific formula?
Yeah. There is a formula.
Oh, okay.
tell us, please.
Please.
I'm about to
We would
level up
love
now.
to
Let's
know
go.
the formula. What's the formula
go.
to making a hit?
Good songwriting, good production, good engineering.
Okay.
But the number one thing is good songwriting.
It's very interesting that you've broadened it out. You've not gone deep into the you need to have your hook here and your
No.
chorus. It's more a broad idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And it stems from a well-written song.
Yeah.
That's where it starts from.
That can resonate. For example, you know the song Fagilia by...
Fagilia, yeah.
That song, sonically, it's a mess. Everything else is a mess.
But we all remember the lyrics.
Please pause there. I have beef. I mean, who am I to have beef, obviously? But I have beef. You guys, back then, you people were releasing songs and all the vocals were just all over the place. They were off. They
Not
were
mine.
Not yours. Not yours, of course. No, never yours. Never
For
yours.
me, I made sure sonically.
But a lot of the songs and not just here, I think even like in the West, a lot of
Yeah.
the songs were just off key and we were vibing to them. Now I'm listening to them like, ugh.
But when you listen to the flavor of the song,
Yeah.
it's
It
so
was
rich.
potent.
You know,
Yeah.
like the way the melody would interact with the
They got the soul right, just not the notes.
Yeah.
So like
Got the
it had
notes
the
wrong.
right. People could relate to it, and
Yeah.
you know, Sam, don't forget. 98% of the people don't know music.
Exactly.
They feel music. They will never explain to you why I don't like this song.
Oh man.
But you just know. I
just
either
know we
like or I
this,
dislike this.
Yeah.
And that's what makes good producers and good like A&Rs and all the businesses.
Yeah.
They
You
listen
just
to
have
it
a
and
feeling.
I'm there like, oh no, but your kick could hit harder, or you could maybe output it, and they're like, no.
Because there's
this is
some
going to
guys,
work.
I mean, for example, my mom,
Yeah.
some songs I play to her, she vibes to them, but she cannot tell you why that song is making her.
He's
happy.
making her like that.
She just knows it. I like this.
That's great and scary at the same time, honestly.
Very.
Of course, I mean, it puts you at the mercy of the audience. But so it's you as a producer or a songwriter to know how to write to those people. And I think that's where BN has excelled. He knows
He writes to the Kenyan people.
he knows how to interpret.
Yeah.
Great songwriters know how to write.
Yeah.
Would you say, okay, you bring out BN, and BN is arguably like one of the biggest artists in
a
this
great guy.
country, if not the biggest one. How have things shifted for you in terms of the music industry here? Because the way I see it, like we had that golden era, and then things kind of waned off, like in the 2013s
It was quiet for a while.
to
We're
like.
comfortable.
Yeah.
You guys got comfortable.
Do you think we can ever get back to those heights? And I know Kina BN are still there, but like I feel like he's very isolated. You know, you can point to a BN, you can point to a Nyashinsky, but you can't point to a multitude of BNs or a multitude of Nyashinsky.
I mean, I don't want to look at our industry like that.
Okay.
But of course, we are competing at a totally different level right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Amapiano is here, Afrobeat is here. And I mean, BN's, it's Afrobeat. Literally, that could easily pass for a Nigerian song.
yes.
Yes.
And the producers, like, the majority of those songs are produced by a Nigerian.
And where's Sami Soso from? The guy who
He's
produced
Nigerian.
it? He's Nigerian.
Is he Nigerian?
He's in British.
Oh.
He's a British
The guy who
Nigerian.
did, he's worked a
Tyler.
lot with Wizkid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, we
He's
saw
done-
that.
He's done a lot
Nigerians.
with Wizkid.
I didn't know he
Nigerians are-
was Nigerian.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
He's West African.
I would
Definitely he's
say, I
not
would say
from
he's either
Bukusu land.
Nigerian or Ghanaian.
He's not from Bukusu land.
He's either Nigerian or Ghanaian.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
It's those. So, and I mean, that's the sound. For BN has tried to balance business and art. So, I mean, if that's what's going to propel him,
Yeah.
good for him, because right now we are competing in that space.
Yeah.
Yeah. When the P units were at their peak, the competition wasn't as big. Yeah. I mean, like, I remember when we went to Nigeria for the Mamas, we were treated like kings. Everybody knew you guy, everybody knew Kare.
Really?
Yeah.
And
That's crazy because I heard like when you ask Nigerians what they know about Kenyan music, it's only Sauti Sol. So it's interesting how things have
right
changed.
now,
Right
but-
now, that's what I'm saying. So I'm wondering why things changed like for the...
what do you think changed?
No, nothing has
what's your-
changed. We're
what's
just
your-
not competing
Yeah.
at that level. We're just not. And you see, for us, what has failed us is the business side of things.
Okay.
The Nigerians have
Yeah,
got it right.
on the business side.
And that's, I mean, music propels because of that. When you have the business side to push the art,
Yeah.
and that's what the Nigerians have just.
Okay, so now you bring about the business
Because,
side.
for example,
Oh, okay. Go
I
ahead,
mean,
sorry.
Sauti Sol would not be where they are
Yeah.
if they didn't get the kind of investment they got.
They got you.
It was almost 30 M to push Midnight Train, that entire
Yeah.
project.
Yeah.
And that's what 30 M has gotten them. That's what 30 M has given BN.
It's
On average,
yeah.
a Nigerian Burna Boy or whoever, I had this conversation with Mr. Easy and DJ Edu. Mr. Easy, by the time he was trying to break into America,
Yeah.
he had spent £200,000. He was like, yo, no.
Sam, what was the number Don Jazzy said you have to spend to break an
100.
artist?
Well, I think it was
100
100 million
million
naira. That
a
was-
year.
Yeah. So
That's what
that's,
he said.
Of course.
that's mad money.
Kinaira Star, you know how much money they have been given?
Yeah.
Those guys, they have a budget of $2 million.
And that's to break just like a...
Yeah.
Oh, man.
How do we get that? How do we
get
get that?
Well,
Actually, the mother company, the mother organization that works with RIKE, they produce something
Yes.
called the Global Music Report,
Yeah.
so this is IFPI.
IFPI.
Yeah.
So I think in 2016, they had broken down what it takes to break an artist internationally. And you needed $500,000 then.
Wow.
Us, we've just not.
That
gone-
makes music record labels still relevant because they're the only ones who can
Of course.
garner that
When
amount of
I hear
money.
people saying, "Oh, don't sign,"
They can really they can scale up the whole
Precisely.
I
thing.
guess, yeah.
the Burna Boys, they're all signed to majors.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of them are signed to majors.
But most of them do distribution deals now. Like that
Doesn't
looks
matter.
like the
But
they're
that's
still
the money. But
yeah.
But now the distribution is marketing and distribution.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marketing, and they put that in there. I guess, I guess that
Then
would be
they're not interested. Yeah, you want to own your catalog, own it.
Please,
But
yeah.
where will you sell it?
yeah, especially since the DSPs and everything, they're on our side.
That's the age-old debate.
They work for us.
That's the age-old debate of
So-
do you want to own 100% of nothing
Yeah.
or
Or-
50% of
or
something
something,
really
yeah.
huge?
1% of something.
Yeah.
I think we can get into Decimal Records just based off that. Like, what's your I don't say what's your goal, but then as your concept for that and where you're taking it.
For me, my concept is to create as much catalog as I can. Just make sure my catalog is huge.
Yeah.
Because for me, I have another side business, movies. I deal with movies a lot.
Yes.
So I license, actually, 90% of my music is licensed to movies.
Yeah.
And that's where the bag is. Isn't it?
That's like
Kind of, it's an opportunity. I mean, I saw an opportunity.
That's where the bag is. That's why you stop producing.
No, I still produce. That's why
I
I'm
mean,
doing all these albums.
yeah,
Because
okay.
now that music forms part of that catalog. And
For licensing.
because now I'm already kind of in that system. So
Yeah.
it's easier for me to just now know that this music, I'll put it on Spotify, but if this opportunity comes,
yes.
it can be. And I mean, I can't license. I mean, I need a record label to own the catalog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hence why the label exists.
So means to
Yeah.
an end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that in future, maybe 30 years from now, that catalog may be worth several thousand.
And we're seeing
dollars.
how, like in the West, we're seeing how
Exactly.
much they're selling
Yeah,
catalogs for.
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Those
Dre has just
ridiculous.
sold this for 200
Kina Primary Wave and all those guys just
Hypnosis.
acquiring catalog at such a rapid pace.
Yeah.
So I mean, so Decimal Records. Now we're more in like now your music exec bag. Do you want to talk about like RIKE, the recording industry of Kenya, and what informed your decisions, and why did you decide Kenya needs this type of organization?
Okay, one. Let me not say it's not my decision.
Okay.
It's just where the global music industry is heading towards. It was actually, we are kind of a guinea pig, but let me not say a guinea pig because we exist.
Yeah.
But we are the pilot project in Africa, us and Nigeria.
Okay.
So there's RELP in Nigeria and RIKE in Kenya.
RELP. What is RELP?
It's the equivalent of RIKE.
Of RIKE, but in Nigeria.
In
Okay.
Nigeria, it's called RELP.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, they have Don Jazzy on their board, they have Chocolate City.
Powerful.
that's
MINM. That's power and
Yeah,
power.
just like Marvin's, their entire team. So, like, literally, the IFPI and the three big labels,
Yes.
the three majors.
Oh, they're behind it, aren't they?
Yeah, they're behind it. They're behind everything.
So is this part of their plan? Because for me, I have this whole conspiracy
It's
that
not a conspiracy.
the music industry are going to look to Africa as the next frontier for you know.
Of course, there's that because,
Yeah.
I mean, let me not say they're always expanding. It's
Yeah.
a business.
Yes.
We are the only new customers they've not
Exactly.
exploited.
But we are
It's too much money just to
we're
to live
hefty
and-
because
Exactly.
think about how
and right
too
now,
much.
because
yes.
with streaming, $1 in Machakos village is the same as $1 in Texas. They can collect that dollar.
Crazy.
Oh man.
So now
it's just us in Nairobi here.
Then-
bro. It's just us in Nairobi. Bro.
How?
We're fine. It's okay. It's fine. Don't worry about
No,
it.
let me explain that concept
Yeah.
a bit. Like, a song by Bien can earn money in New York and in the remotest village on this earth, as long as you have a streaming platform. So now they can actually collect money from that small person who they had no access to
Yeah.
because of one, logistics.
Yeah.
Do you know how much? Can you ship 1 million records to Kenya? Physical albums.
Like,
Just picture that.
Yes.
Trying to print 1 million CDs.
Even just the thought of trying to print CDs
Exactly.
in
Yeah.
2023
A
is wild.
million to ship to
Yeah.
Kenya to come and sell to that guy in Lodwar for $10. It doesn't make financial sense.
It doesn't. Yes.
But right now, that guy in Lodwar has a Samsung, which has access to Boomplay,
Yep.
Yeah.
which has access to Spotify,
Yeah.
and he's paying 10 cents.
Yeah.
So we can collect money from that guy. So this is a market for us.
Yeah.
That's the whole
It's the whole idea.
idea behind it. And that's why Africa was the biggest market growth. We grew by 33%.
Yes.
The US grew by 1%.
Yeah. And they're like, I feel like they're trying to cook the books a bit like by increasing the streaming, like how much you have to pay for Spotify and whatever. They're trying to really
Soul
like
games.
show that the growth is still going. But I'm saying Africa, man, like this is the next frontier
But
in
I
terms
think
of growth
there's actually real growth.
here.
There
Yeah.
is like, I go to Shags and my guys in Shags are streaming music off Spotify.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they have smartphones.
I feel
I
like
find it
that's
hard to believe.
I feel like that's the biggest limitation, the
Which one?
accessibility
Yes,
to
the accessibility.
to
No.
tech and
They're going crazy over
You
there.
guys
Oh no, that changes some things.
leave the city and you'll understand why.
That changes some things. Maybe I may need to leave Nairobi at this
Yeah,
point
yeah,
and
yeah.
see what's happening outside.
A lot. Guys are streaming.
Yeah.
Guys are The boom plays, they are making money. Yeah.
Okay.
so you guys
The numbers are right.
Okay.
so how are you guys positioning yourselves in this like now
So us,
ecosystem?
we are a policy
Yeah.
and industry overseer.
Okay.
Exactly what RIA is in the US, BPI is in the UK.
Ah, okay.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. That's a question I had.
Yeah.
And all those organizations have the same composition. The three majors and the dominant labels in the region.
I see.
Yeah. So it's a template. So you just replicate it where they see potential. And of course, so that Kenya and Nigeria were the pilot,
Uh-huh.
then they'll roll out in other African countries if the need
That's really so.
for that.
Essentially, what that could do is phase out the. Let me not say phase out, but make a lot quieter the current like the in-house
Regulate,
Yes, in-house
like,
regulators.
just make sure. So our work is to lobby to government to make sure that the MCSKs do right by their word. Yeah.
And this is through I know you're partnering a lot with like ISRC and all that type of stuff. Is that
So ISRC is a standardization from IFPI
Yes.
for all music in the world.
yeah.
So what has been happening right now, if you upload your song from Kenya right now,
Yeah.
TuneCo and Distro will give you an ISRC code.
Yes.
Because they are subcontracted by FPI to issue
Yes.
codes. But those are generic codes. So you'll find that your codes have QZ, funny weird digits.
Yeah.
Generic.
Yeah, they're generic.
Oh, interesting.
But now with RIKE, we can assign you your own
Yeah.
ISRC codes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it running up? Is that something that how do artists get that
So
sort
we're in the
of
process
service
of
now?
recruiting members.
Yeah.
Actually, for us to be able to do that, we needed to pay our annual subscription to IFPI, which we've just done.
Okay. Pay to play everywhere. It's everywhere, isn't it? Yeah.
No, but
It
but
makes
that
sense.
money
It
is
makes sense. It's worth it.
Like
and there's a use for
removing
it.
money from me and giving my wife and telling her bring back. So it's
Yeah.
We get you.
that money just
It's coming back. You're going to see it again.
just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was asking, so why are we paying? But you're told because the organizations run differently and independently.
Yes.
Just follow
Protocol.
procedure. But really and truly, it's Warner removing money, Sony removing music, then going back to pay themselves back again.
So not to be too controversial, okay,
Yeah.
but I just want like an honest answer because I feel like you've been there for a while. Where has the royalty MCSK and all them? Where did they go? We would look at it and say they went wrong because they seem to be not treating artists or valuing artists with the proper value. So where do you think, because you've been there back then probably as they were starting up and all that, where do you think it's
just lack of accountability, yeah, and greed.
and is that a solvable problem?
Yes, it is. It is
Them solvable, or do we solve it by like what you're doing and come out
now
with
it's
different boards
for us
and
to solve it,
Yeah.
to
bypass
to
that system?
lobby,
Yeah.
and make sure that we have. You see, at the end of the day, if nobody's punished,
Yeah.
Exactly.
They'll keep on doing
They'll
the
keep on
same.
doing
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
it's just that
Let me
now in
leave it at
other
that.
countries, like what these guys are doing is actually punished. And RIA, BPI, RISA.
There's real consequences for
So here, because there are no real consequences,
Yeah.
guys are still. So part of us is to engage the political class to try and push.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
It's not going to happen overnight,
Yeah.
but it's a step in the right.
I'm pretty sure it might be a little bit of a fight too.
No, it is a. Oh,
Are you ready? Are you ready for that? Are you ready for the fight?
kind of. I'm wiser now.
Yeah.
I know. When I was at camp, we tried something similar, but I was too emotional in those fights.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be like, why don't you guys understand? Then
It's because you understand it from the
exactly.
artist's
But then you come to
perspective.
realize not everybody shares your perspective.
Not everyone cares about your perspective
Exactly.
either.
So
Yeah.
you need to learn how to balance interests.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that, because there's some guys who are so powerful and politically connected that you can't move that guy. It will take the government to change or the president to get out.
And get out
To
with
go to get out with him.
everyone, and
Yeah.
then bring a new group of people, and
but you
maybe
see,
out of that you'll have.
That's theory. So the best thing now, like some of the things the things we are trained on, is to know how to politically engage with these people and make sure that as much as we are pushing our agenda, their interests are also
Okay.
Yeah.
because they understand, even the labels and all these guys, they understand there's some guys you can't move. Like
Do the people who
they're in power and you can't do nothing.
The people who know they can't be moved, do they know their perception to the people?
Of course they do.
So they know that we are goofing around and there's nothing you can
They're
do
not
about it.
goofing around, they're doing business.
Oh, I mean, yes, but I
they're in business.
like how you're phrasing it. Of course, yeah, but
Whether it's ethical and benefits everyone.
exactly. But they're in business.
We can
Okay.
debate
What's
on
up
that.
with
But
that?
as we're in business,
Yeah.
this is because you're affecting his bread and butter.
Yeah.
He has set up structures that allow him to profit off
Yes.
the chaos. And him, as far as concerned, is doing legitimate work.
He's doing work.
Some of those people, I feel like they know they are doing illegitimate work.
Of course they know.
That's my
There's
my
no
feeling.
way they don't know.
You see, illegitimate, that's something, it's, your moral standards may not be mine.
Yeah.
To you, it's illegitimate, but me, I'm hustling. I'm just in a cutthroat.
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't think if we start on that, we're going to keep going forever. I don't want to.
So for them,
Morals and art. That's
they're in business and they've convinced themselves. Some you'd be amazed, but anyway,
no. Believe me, I understand. I understand. I understand it. It's just.
I did in my philosophy class.
Yeah.
I read a quote by St. Thomas Aquinas about how someone with faith, you don't need to convince them.
Yeah.
Someone without faith, no explanation will ever make sense.
To them.
So those guys, if they don't see what you're seeing, even if you go there with pie charts and
Video essays and everything.
and figures, some of them it takes violence to be
And that's
gotten out.
Yeah.
But I mean, we hope we'll never have to get there. But
I think.
sorry, go ahead, Sam.
Okay, no. Actually, you go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, just to kind of tie this together. So you mentioned that. I read that there are some educational programs, and you had mentioned that there are master classes that you guys do. Like just for the people listening, like how can they get involved with like RIKE and
Master
so
classes.
RIKE is just you register as a member, as long as you produce musical works.
Okay.
You can register as a member.
Yeah.
And from January, we are going to do a lot of marketing.
Okay.
From marketing. Okay.
Yeah, because you see, we needed BN. And he was busy doing his album.
Stuff.
Now he's done.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll start doing a lot of...
He doesn't need to lay BGVs no more.
Yeah, a lot of campaigns, just and sensitization. But
Yeah.
it will take a while. I mean, like, we are cognizant of the fact that it's not an overnight thing.
Yes.
The environment we are operating in is not the easiest.
Cool.
So we'll do our best, but we believe it's in the right direction. I mean, we have blessings from high powers. They're not moving at our speed, but at least
there's movement.
There's the political will to help us,
Yeah.
to help us succeed completely.
Yeah.
And I mean, this has come directly from the president himself.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice.
You just have to be patient and just... And so when such things happen, I mean, I get motivated and I feel like I can now actually put my energy into this, and I'll be patient to see it grow. And
You're playing the long game here.
exactly, because it's the same mentality I had when I got into music. I was like, I'm not going to be rich tomorrow.
Yeah.
But all the signs for prosperity were there.
Are there.
Yeah. You could feel the energy was
It's
right.
about playing the end game,
We
man.
need to look at the science, not the wallet, is what we need to do.
Exactly. All the signs
Yeah.
were there.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, I will trust my instincts, because when I look at the way the stars are aligned,
Yeah.
they are not aligned in a bad
Yeah.
space. And 27 years later, here I am.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
I think as we wrap up, you've talked about
Yeah.
science, you've talked about instinct. Maybe let's get back to music a bit, right? And we don't have to spend too much time here. It's a very simple question. Who do you see in the Kenyan industry? And okay, you don't have to be specific. You can be very specific, but then
No, be
I have a caveat.
yes.
My caveat is one,
Yeah.
I don't judge art.
Okay.
Personally, I don't judge art,
Yeah. Okay.
because that's somebody's expression and somebody's vision and artistic
Yeah.
idea. So I only critique
Okay.
the aspect of art that are tangible and their perimeters we can measure.
Yeah.
We can measure distortion. So if your song is distorted, we can agree it's distorted.
Yes.
But I can't tell you your songwriting is shit.
Yeah.
That is your
It's
idea.
because it's subjective.
It's subjective to
Yeah.
you. No,
But it's a personal,
Yeah.
based off your personal taste.
Yeah.
Like where do you see promise in terms of the artistry in Kenya?
I mean, it's great. I mean, for me, that these stars aligned 27 years ago, and it's still, just getting better.
The slow burn, yeah.
I mean, I was recording Otile the other day, and he showed up in a Range Rover. I took that photo and I sent to my mom. I'm like, you've never driven such a car.
But this is what music can
He's
do.
an artist driving.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not mocking her, but I'm just showing her the potential of what...
Yeah.
You may not see the potential,
Yes.
but there are things that happen in the world. Again, Paul Coelho, the alchemist, that align, and things are just destined for greatness.
Yeah.
Because certain things are happening
Yes.
in certain spaces.
Yeah.
And for me, I see that. We have colors doing a show here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the most recent one.
We
Yeah.
have guys investing in high-end studios here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have corporations signing artists for multi-million-dollar deals. Those things are not going to die overnight. They're just going to get better.
That's
Artists are going to get smarter. Artists are going to get more ambitious.
Yes.
And better artists are going to come. Better
Yeah.
deals are going to...
yeah.
So,
So, for you,
that road points to success.
yeah.
So
For you, you're not looking at individuals. You're looking.
no.
You're playing the. You're
it's
looking
a
at the
bigger
field.
picture.
Okay.
bigger picture.
Because
That's
we all
interesting. That's
succeed
interesting.
differently. And you see, success for one person is not success for another. When I started music, we were many of us.
Yeah.
Many are fallen.
Oh man, that's another
Yeah,
story.
Some others have the energy to overlook failure and rise and keep going. Others, they are devastated. Hii kitu hailipi mziki. But when you go and look at the guy's actions and trajectory, you are destined to fail.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, with what is happening right now in music, I mean, we'll just get better and better,
Sure.
honestly.
Yeah.
I don't see it going down. And we have the Nyashinskis already setting the bar. Yeah, the BNs are setting, like, a whole Oktoberfest with Kenyan artists. In fact, nobody talked about Diamond.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we didn't.
No, but I was Googling.
Did he actually?
Did he come?
Was he
I
there?
never saw a post. I saw
And that's huge.
nothing.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
But
That's
I heard
huge.
about Keishaka. But the Sunday one, I mean, everyone talked about Nyash, Sauti Sol, Wakadinali. What does that show you? So sometimes you may think the Diamonds are beating us. Oh, the Tanzanians are doing better songs, and the
But it's how you're
Nigerians are
looking at
beating.
it.
But
Yeah.
really and truly,
There's an energy where we can see that the industry is going in a right trajectory.
and I mean, we've never stopped making music.
Yeah.
Music is seasonal. Sometimes we are up. Bien is not going to sing until he's 90.
Yeah.
Somebody has to. He's now inspiring somebody somewhere. Yeah, the same way we inspired you guys. So it's a cycle. It's a cycle of life, and it just
cycle of life.
And just keeps propagating, giving.
Yeah.
I was watching another documentary, guy saying how hip hop has died. I'm like, man, guys are such pessimists.
Yeah, it's not dead.
I really like your optimism because a lot of people you talk to who have
how
been,
do you exist in this earth if you're not optimistic?
Yeah.
How?
A lot of people who I've talked to who have been part of the industry for a long time, 10 years and above, they're very pessimistic, very, very negative.
Me, I don't think Warren Buffett is pessimistic.
No. That's great.
You cannot be great and
Yeah.
you cannot aspire for greatness and be a pessimist. That energy, where do you even get the energy to have such?
How do you wake up in the morning and decide to choose violence?
No, for me personally, I'm not pessimistic about the music industry, especially the African.
I've never been. I have friends who are very pessimistic, and I always tell them, we're back here.
Thanks.
Kwa stool ka hapo. Wewe kama nguvu imeisha, usianze kuhate. Don't become a hater. Just sit down. Yeah.
Okay, so for the end of the podcast, usually we like to have our guest play a song that, as long as it's Kenyan, one that you want. You can even promote your own music, whatever you think needs to be played.
Put the Decimators on.
It's whatever you want. You go ahead. So, what would you like to play?
Which song do I have?
No pressure or pressure.
Play for me Kahora by Brian Nadra.
Kahora by Brian Nadra.
Yeah.
Well, here's Kahora by Brian Nadra. So that was Kahora by Brian Nadra. Yo, this
has a video, by the way.
It has a video as well.
You can play the video if you want.
I mean, if
they agree,
definitely. Because YouTube sometimes YouTube will flag me for my own things. I'm like, you guys just relax, calm down. It's my music. I made it. I can show you.
Bro, let me not tell you how I've gone through some BS with YouTube and TikTok about them thinking I'm stealing my own content.
Like,
anyway,
what are you guys talking about?
But listen, this has been an amazing conversation. I mean, coming from two producers, we just want to say, bro, we have a lot of gratitude for the stuff that you guys have done for the music industry. You might not have known it. You guys were just making music for making music sake, but it has really set the tone for us, and it's something like we believe that we can be producers and have a career in it, and you guys have kind of like
and age in production. There's a lot of people who even I started producing with years ago, and they've gone into different things. But then it's just showing that you can age and you can move into different aspects of the music industry without necessarily abandoning your love for music.
You just keep your mind open.
And that's why I was just super happy to hear that you have a project coming out in February. Like you're still making music.
Definitely
all these years.
Birds and Bees. That's the name of the album.
Birds and Bees. That's fine.
But yeah,
fine. Looking forward to that.
Guys, listen, where can they find this podcast, Sam?
Everywhere.
You can find it everywhere, including YouTube. You can also listen.
I'm really terrible, right? Afam probably hates me at this point.
You can listen to this music on Spotify, on Apple Music, on Google Podcasts, which is going to be obsolete, by the way. I don't know what it's going to be.
What if they change their mind at this point? And then we've had
I think it's
10 weeks of documentary and they're going out of business and then they come back. Anyway.
But yeah, you can also follow us. You can reach out to us in real life, but you can follow us on Instagram, on Threads, on Twitter, well, X. We're not on Facebook, never will be on Facebook, but we are the 30% pod on all of these platforms. And did you have last thing to say?
I guess plug your socials also.
Oh yeah, do you want to plug anything?
Socials.
Are you on social media?
Is there anything you want to plug?
Do you know what that is?
I just opened my Twitter. I had a Twitter account in 2012.
Yeah.
You opened it and it's X now.
I closed it. It had 30k subscribers, 30k followers. Then, because of TPF.
Okay.
But then I just felt it was so personal. The things people are talking.
Oh, it still is.
No, open it back up.
I couldn't differentiate.
Bro, marketing, man. Open it up.
That time, I didn't understand what that was. For me, I just felt, bro, I'm like Jay-Z.
Yeah, you want to be...
Kind of. Not like we don't understand.
You want to
thing.
know what's going on.
Yeah. First, let me know what's going on.
Yeah.
Before I indulge, and then...
Makes sense.
I get carried away, and then I expose myself so much. So even Instagram, I upload once occasionally.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not my strength.
It's not your strength.
It's not my strength.
But your strength is churning out amazing music, and
You have been for a couple of years.
So yeah, I mean that
it's
was.
fun.
I even forgot to introduce that this is episode 54 of the 30% podcast. Thank you so much for gracing us.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
thank you. That was amazing. I think.
Pleasure being here.
I think that was a good conversation.
There's more conversations to be had.
We will catch you guys on
Yeah.
episode 55.